nutshell, as I explained on Tuesday, we were working with an agent. We were doing listing campaigns. We were promoting his listing on social media. And we did 12 listings for him over a period of 12 months. It might have been 6 months actually. But after 12 months, I spoke to him and I said, he was a Bailey's agent. I said, how many of the 920 buyer inquiries that came through Facebook, how many of them did you turn into listings? You know, and he said, Ben, I got 0 listings off the back of that. And that really made me ask the question, why? Because for sure there were homeowners amongst it, but I didn't have the data. So I said, do you mind if I clean up the data for you and come back to you? And he said, no problem. So what we found was that, punchline there, 250 local homeowners were identified amongst those buyer inquiries. So we had 920 buyer inquiries, 250 were local homeowners in his area. But what was more interesting, which you saw just then, was 12 homeowners of the 250 went on to list and sell within the next 6 months of clicking on his ads. And I said, mate, what's that worth to you? And he said, well, in my area of Auckland, 30K commission, I give half to my office, 15K, about 180K. It's like 180K, most New Zealanders make half that a year, average New Zealander makes, and you've just missed out on 180K because you weren't handling your data correctly. And he's like, Ben, I'm a busy agent. I've got 10 listings on the go at any one time. I don't have time. If there's a way where you can generate buyer inquiries for me, clean the data, identify who are homeowners, and then automatically feed them into your Connect tool so I can text them all, that would be super powerful. And then I wouldn't miss 180K. Maybe I'd only miss 90,000 in commission. I'd pick up an extra 90K. So that's kind of that's the background story. And I apologize for everyone who heard this on Tuesday, but it's just for anyone who wasn't there on Tuesday. I just want to give the background on why we created the Level Up listings. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how you guys can leverage your listings and your vendor paid ads to promote them on social media, but more importantly, to pick up homeowner opportunities off the back of them. And then we've already got a lot of Arizto agents using it already. You might be on this call who have generated not only buyer inquiries through their listings, but more importantly, picked up seller opportunities off the back of it as well. So that's what I want to talk about today. And the way I kind of set this up is I call it like the flywheel method, the listing flywheel. And it starts off like any ordinary listing campaign where we're promoting it through your Facebook page, your Arizto Facebook page, out to on social media. So people are seeing you and your property, and you're promoting your property on Facebook and Instagram. Now, when people see your ad, they click learn more, and it asks, the Facebook form appears and it asks for their name, email, phone number, address, and it even asks, are they thinking about buying or are they just curious? And also, do they have pre-approval? So we're collecting a lot of good data up front. Now, let's say on average homeowners getting around 50 buyer inquiries. 80% is quality data. Always expect with Facebook, you're going to get people putting in some like fake addresses and things like that. So from your 50, you've got 40 quality buyer inquiries that you can call back. But that's where most companies and most solutions kind of stop. They generate inquiries or they generate views and impressions, and that's where they stop. Where we saw the opportunity that this agent identified for us was we need to identify for the agents who are local homeowners. So typically, to give you some averages, you get 50 buyer inquiries, 40 buyer inquiries are legit contact information, and of those 40, 10 will be local homeowners in the area. Those 10 local homeowners automatically get loaded into Connect, a prospecting tool, which I'll show you, so you can reach out and follow up with those people so you can book more appraisals. So once they're in Connect, you just jump in, you get an email saying, hey, Ben, your listing campaign is finished. You generated 53 buyer inquiries. 10 of them are local homeowners. Those 10 local homeowners have now automatically been loaded into Connect for you. Jump into Connect. So when you go into Connect, you go to digital leads. They're all sitting in the digital leads section. You find a recent sale near them, and then you send them this text. And it creates this text automatically for you. Hey Dave, noticed you recently checked out one of our property listings on social media. Hope it caught your interest. Hey, on another note, thought you might be curious to know that 15 Smith Street, a 3-bedroom home nearby to you, just recently sold for $950. If you'd like more details about this sale, if you'd just like to know how your property's value has shifted since you purchased it back in January 2020, just reply with the words price update. Happily send you a personalized price estimate. Have a great day, Ben. So that is the text message that you can click a button and send out from your phone number directly to all of the leads who clicked on your listing, who were interested in potentially buying, but they've been identified as a homeowner. And when we identified them as a homeowner, we're also pulling through when they purchase their home for you. So you're sending a hyper-personalized text message to every single person. And so this is what is generating not only in terms of growing your database, but generating appraisals off the back of your vendor paid listing campaigns. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. But ultimately, the reason why I call it a flywheel is the more listings you have, the more buyer inquiries you're going to be generating off the back of the campaigns. The more homeowners that are being identified and loaded into Connect, that means the more conversations that you're having every single day with homeowners, ultimately leading to more listings, and that whole flywheel system, works together. So I think I mentioned at the start, we do a lot of work with Arizto agents. If anyone wants to reach out to me, I can give you some of the names of the Arizto agents working with us, and you can get in touch with them and get their feedback. But the average agent, Arizto agent, is getting around 10 homeowner leads off the back of around 40 buyer inquiries. So a great way to generate opportunities off the back of your listings. Just to give you a case study, I know this isn't an Arizto case study, but just want to give you a high level view. If you looked at this as a serious solution, let's say you do 30 listings a year like Charlie Brothers did. We did this in over 18 months. We generated 1,900 buyer inquiries. But what was interesting is 586 of them were local homeowners. So these are his future vendors. They were automatically built into his database. And he didn't spend any money in his personal marketing. It was all vendor funded. I do know of some agents, just to note, that in the areas where they might not be able to get $500 for social, they might go 50-50 with the vendors. So I understand that every market might not always be the same, but South Auckland market, they're not always selling $1 million properties down there. So to get, I think Charlie's spending $1,000 per listing campaign. To give you an idea, because I want to keep this within 15 minutes, to give you an idea on the pricing and the packages, all of the pricing and the packages are like a per campaign price. So if you've got a listing, most agents are doing a $499 package, and that includes your GST. It includes the money that gets paid to Facebook and Instagram. And for that $499 inclusive, you'll get around about 25 buyer inquiries, and that's conservative. Like, I'm always rather under promise, over deliver. And of those 25 inquiries, you'll add about 5 homeowners or future vendors to your pipeline and Connect. The advantages as well, you also get Connect free for 30 days. If you're already a Connect user, which I know a lot of Arizto agents are already using Connect, you get the extension, 30-day extension, or you get the equivalent as a discount or a credit. So for every listing campaign you do, if you did 12 listing campaigns a year, basically you always got Connect for free. So these are kind of the free added benefits, which is the data cleaning, identification of homeowners, and the Connect, the text message outreach. Following that's kind of comes for free within the packages. So I'm just trying to think of any other questions, because this is a group call. Usually this is when people hit me with questions. To give you an idea on how it works, because you guys are probably thinking, how does it work? I'll send out an email to you guys, and there's going to be a link to actually, I'll just exit out of this and I'll show you myself. Exit full screen. Job form. So basically, this is how you submit a listing. I know you have your own internal system at Arizto. The Arizto would invoice the client, but we would invoice Arizto. So that's the agreement we have with Martin and the team, is we will be invoicing Arizto and they will be paying it. So basically, when you've got a listing, you drop the listing URL here. So you've got the Arizto listing. And so what that means is we will pull the photos and images from your listing from your website, your listing description, create your Facebook and Instagram ads, send them through to you for approval. And once you're approved, the ads go live straight away. So usually within 24 hours, or less than 24-hour turnaround time on that. So as soon as your listing goes live on the Arizto website, drop the link to the property. We'll pull the photos, create the ads, send them through to you for approval. In terms of selecting the package, you might do a 250 bronze package, or you might do a custom package. You might go, my max budget is 150 in ad spend. And so you see down here, the total price is $399, inclusive of GST and the Facebook ad spend. You can also select the duration. So you've got full freedom to select how long you want the campaign to run for. Let's say you've got a deadline in 3 weeks. You probably want to run a campaign for 2 weeks to make sure you're getting the buyers through early enough so they can come to the open home. If you have any suggestions around targeting, maybe there's a specific demographic you want to target, feel free to add those notes here. That's going to allow us to target the right people. If you're a Connect user, you just say you're a Connect user. If you're not a Connect user, you'll get Connect free for 30 days for every listing. And then basically connect your account, Facebook page, so we can run it through your Facebook page by just clicking this link and then clicking submit. So it's as simple as, using that process to submit a campaign. And so I'll send an email out to you guys with a link to submit those listings if you want to give it a trial run. But those leads, just to backtrack again, when a lead comes through Facebook, it automatically gets emailed to you, and it also gets saved in a Google Sheet. So every notification, new leads come in, hey, better give them a call, follow up with those people. At the end of the campaign, you might have a list of 50 buyer inquiries. That data at the end is cleaned up, homeowners are identified, and they're loaded into Connect automatically for you. So I'd just like now to open it up to any questions. So feel free to drop those questions in the Q&A chat. Oh yeah, good question, Harry. Harry's got a question about, can you show us some ad examples? Mate, the ad examples, nothing revolutionary that you haven't seen before. Let me just share my screen again. What we've found is that the best ads that generate the best leads are actually photos of the exterior of the property, typically speaking. It's not a fancy video, and it's not an internal picture of a bedroom. It's actually an exterior photo. So this is giving you an idea on what those ads can look like. Obviously, this would be your branding at the top, your Facebook page and Instagram page. And then, if you like, we can put the Arizto branding here as well. But we have found that the more logos and branding you put here, the less people click and engage. So you might want to split test, and you might say, hey, guys, can you do some with my branding and some with just the photos? That'll get you the best results. Split testing both. So there's nothing revolutionary about the ads. Like I said, the real value here for the agents is not only the buyer data, but the homeowner data that's identified, the seller opportunities that come off the back of it, and then the automation into Connect. So it's really taking your listing campaigns to the next level. So you're not like that agent I showed you at the start who's missing out on so many opportunities because he doesn't have a system to capture that data. Are there any more questions? That was a good question, Harry, around examples. Feel free to drop them in the chat, because I'm literally wrapping up in a few seconds. So feel free to drop those questions in the chat. I'll send an email out to all of you guys with the link to submit a listing, even a link to my calendar if you want to give me a call and have a chat. Or just type it in the Q&A, Bev. It looks like the chat's disabled, but if you just put it in the Q&A section, you can drop the questions there, Bev, no problem at all. But anyway, guys, I will stay around for the next few minutes and just answer any questions. But other than that, thank you so much for your time today. I'll carry on answering questions. I'll flick an email out in the next 20 minutes as well. Awesome. More questions coming in, which is great. Sharon, do we automatically have a subscription to Connect as an Arizto agent? No. As an Arizto agent, you don't automatically have a subscription with Connect. So you'll get a subscription to Connect if you do a listing campaign with us. So that's automatic. If you're doing a listing campaign, you'll get 30 days of Connect. Or if you've got a subscription already, you already know you've got one. So that's how that works. Brian, you missed the first 5 minutes, mate. I'll put the recording in the email out to you so you can watch the start of the recording again, Brian. Question from Bev: are there stats to give to the vendors as to why they should pay for it? Yep, cool. So I'll carry on sharing my screen because I'll show you something here. Level up vendor. I'm just going to share the screen here. This is what I can send you. I will send you in the email, but this is some stats that you can sit down with your vendors. So this is like a flyer that you can have that you can bring to your listing presentation. And these are the stats, the high level stats that the vendors want to know. Hey, 499, it's going to go across Facebook and Instagram. Your property is going to get seen on average around 11,500 times on social media. Now, why is this important to you, Mr. Vendor, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor? Is because not every single person is on the portals every single day searching for properties. We want to get in front of people who aren't actively looking on those portals, and we want to target what we call passive buyers. And so by running ads on Facebook and Instagram, we're getting in front of those passive buyers. And what you're going to expect to see is around at that 499 bronze package, you're going to get seen around 11,500 times. Your property is going to be seen around 11,500 times. And we're going to expect to get around 25 buyer inquiries. So when those buyer inquiries come in, they're going to fill in their name, email, phone number, address, and it's going to give me all of the data so I can give them a call back and proactively, bring them to an open home or an inspection. So the difference between getting their data up front is we can proactively reach out to these people and get them through, rather than just getting a bunch of likes and shares. So that's kind of the pitch to the vendor on what's in it for them. And I'll include this little flyer in the email that I send out to you, to everyone. So hopefully that helped, Bev. And one other thing, as you can see here, the difference in these packages is just the more advertising spend. So ultimately, the more people that are seeing the property, the more inquiries that are coming through on the property. Brooke, any stats on the regions outside of the big cities? Well, if you're in the regions, you're definitely at an advantage. Auckland and Christchurch would be the average cost per buyer inquiry through Facebook and Instagram is probably around like the $8 to $9 mark. If you're in the regions, Taranaki, Timaru, Gisborne, like the regions, you might be getting $4 or $5 per buyer inquiry. So if you're in the regions, you're actually going to get a better deal, but conservatively, I've just given you the high level numbers so your vendors have some realistic expectations. So when instead of 25 inquiries, they get 50 inquiries, it's more of a, you would rather under promise, over deliver on that. Harry, given the market in Auckland, what's the return on investment look like? I'm not sure what you mean by return on investment looks like, in terms of, because this is a vendor funded campaign to generate buyer inquiries for your listings. So the ROI, I'm not sure what you mean by ROI, because ultimately the goal is to generate as many buyers on that listing as possible. get them through the open home, to get more offers on the table to drive up that sales price. We've had I've had agents that call me saying, hey, we had people at auction, bidding at auction, and although they didn't win the auction, they were there bidding, they came through Facebook and Instagram. So it was great to have them there because it allowed us to achieve a higher sales price. So I don't know whether that really answers your question, but obviously the more competition that you can create, the better it is for the vendor. The side benefit for you, the agent, is you're growing your database off the back of that, getting more sellers into Connect and nurturing those people over time. Diggy Patel, PDF, some information that you can take to the vendors to show them the marketing benefits. Yep. So I'll send you through this. This is the benefit for the vendor. Connect isn't a benefit for the vendor. The Connect is a benefit for you, the agent. I'll send you through both information for you, Diggy. I'll send it to everyone actually. Okay, so good question. What time frame are the leads taking from lead to a listing? Do you see this as a long-term listing pipeline? 100% this is long-term. Like you saw the stats at the very start that I shared in regards to that agent up in Auckland, 920 buyer inquiries, 250 were local homeowners, 12 of the 250, so a very small percentage, went on to list and sell within the next 6 months. So it's definitely a pipeline building strategy, but the stats show that there are people who will list and sell within 6 months of clicking on your ads. So the data is there. It shows that people, when they click, there is a percentage that will be thinking of selling their own house and do put their house on the market. The question is, are you capturing that data? Are they going to list with you, or are they just slipping through the cracks? And so that's what we're trying to do here. It's definitely a build the pipeline for the future strategy, but as the stats show, there are people who do list and sell. Is this available from their Arizto toolbox? I need to talk to Martin about that to see if it's still on their Arizto toolbox. It'd be great if it is. I'll push for that, Diggy, for you. The results are based on basically worst case. So Sue's got another question. Are the results based on Auckland agents? My example was Charlie, but we ran 150 campaigns across New Zealand last month. So the results are based on averages and conservative averages at that. So like I said, you're going to get better results than what I'm showing here. But like I said, under promise, over deliver is the better strategy. Sharon, do you have any stats on how many buyers they see their ads on Facebook actually end up purchasing the property? Probably not an easy thing to know, but just curious. I don't have the exact stats on, the number of people that actually trade me versus Facebook in terms of where are the buyers coming from. Realistically, when you think about it, the portals, you've got motivated buyers on the portals. So a lead that comes through Trade Me is a far better lead than one lead that comes through Facebook, right? People who are actively searching on the portals are far more motivated than someone on social media. The question is, it's not about replacing Trade Me with Facebook. Facebook's more of something to have on top of that to get in front of the people who might not be on Trade Me, right? And getting in front of those people and getting people. And like I said at the start, we've had agents that said, hey, we've had people bidding at auction that came through Facebook. We had people making offers that came through Facebook. They ended up not necessarily always win the, buy the house. They might have been the highest bidder, but it helped drive that price up and achieve it. So that's a good question. Maren, what does the Connect database look like? I'm not sure what you mean by that, because the database is your database sitting in Connect. Seeing as people are dropping off, I'll quickly show you what the Connect database looks like for anyone who doesn't know. Let me log into Connect really quickly to give you a little overview. So Connect is something you use from your phone, but you're looking at the Connect portal here. You upload your database into Connect. So we can see all of the homeowners. These are all the homeowners on my database in Connect. Now, if I go to local sales, it's going to show me all of the local sales that are happening relevant to the people on my database. So if I go to 32 or 44 Millbrook Road in Henderson, that's a recent sale, sold for 743,000, and that's the sale in red. These are all of the people on my database, the people I've done appraisals for, the leads I've generated through my listings, the people I've sold through, every single person I've met that I've got their name and address. These people are identified here on this map. And as we scroll down, I can see Edwin is 318 meters away from the sale. And I can click call and I can call them, or I can click send text. And I can send them a text message and it might be like, hi Edwin, just wanted to let you know, 44 Millbrook Road, Henderson, at a 3-bedroom home nearby to you, just recently sold for 743,000. Hey, I know you're probably not thinking of selling right now. Just wanted to keep you up to date with what's happening in the market around you. Have a great day. You know, Ben from Arizto. It's just a touch point that you can have with these homeowners that are on your database. So the more homeowners you have on your database, obviously the more conversations you're having every single day. The more conversations you have every single day, the more relationships you build. And in real estate and in business, it's all about relationships, right? It's about trust and relationships. So the more relationships you can build and strengthen using tools like Connect to keep in touch with them and stay top of mind, the more listings you're going to generate off the back of it. All of those leads that I was talking about at the start that get generated through your listing campaign, they go to a special section called digital leads. And they sit here, and then you come into here, find a recent sale that happened from Marie, and hit send text. And that was that text I showed you at the start. So Connect is only as powerful as you use it. If you've signed up to Connect and you've never used it, biggest waste of money because you're not using it. It still needs to be actively used by you guys. We just provide the listing, the sales data from REI and Z for you, match it up with people on your database, but you still need to hit the send button from your phone. Yep, David, I tried to answer that question for you. The data's coming from REI and Z, and it's, yeah, so that's there. It comes through every single day. Maren, can you group homeowners and bulk email out to the database? So you can't bulk email because this is a text message tool. What we've found, there's so many tools on the market that do bulk email. ActivePipe for one. What we found is that what gets the highest response rate is text message, 97% open rate, compared to email, which is like 20 or 30%. So we found that personalized, relevant text messages from your own cell phone number directly to a homeowner gets far more engagement. And when we ask the agents, do you want to automate this and send it from a 4-digit code, or would you prefer to send it from your own mobile? 99% of agents said, no, we want to send it from our own mobile number because it's more personalized. And so that's why we focus on, rather than bulk, one-to-one communication, because that's what gets the value. Rowena bronze campaign on my sign up form says 250. Is this right? Yeah, so let me just quickly go back to that for you. We always charge $249. That's our fee for creating the campaigns, the reporting, the identification of homeowner opportunities, the cleaning of the data, the uploading into Connect, the free Connect for 30 days, the reporting for your vendors. That's all included in the $249. You guys just need to select the ad budget, for example, a bronze package, so it equals $499 total. So hopefully that answered your question, Rowena, in regards to that. If there's any more questions, Harry, does it show when the text was last text sent, and can we automate the text? Yes, if you send a text message, like if I go into database and I go to 80, we can see last message sent 5 days ago. Last call was 5 days ago. So it tracks all the messages you send and Connect, but it doesn't automate the texts. Still need to do a little bit of work. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. Sharon's got a question, lots of questions. Can you confirm, are these buyers on the Connect database only generated from people that click on your Facebook ad? No, so for Connect, you can also upload your database. So you can upload your entire CRM into Connect, and all of the homeowners, people with address, a name, and a mobile will go into Connect. You can continue to grow your database in Connect by doing the listing campaigns as well. But Connect is not for buyer management, it's about seller and pipeline management. So that is what Connect does. It's about nurturing your existing database, and the listing campaigns is about helping you leverage your listings to grow your database. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense, Sharon. I think that's, yeah, perfect. Awesome. Guys, I will stay on for another few seconds. If there's any more questions, drop them below. Otherwise, I am finished. I will send you out an email with links to Connect, links to the listing campaign, the recording of this webinar that you can share with anyone else if they miss it, and as well as vendor brochure that you can use at your listing appointment. So thanks very much for everyone for jumping on today. Got any questions, feel free to give me a call. It'll be in my email. And you can call me up and ask me any other questions. And one more question from Rowena. We want to promote out. Awesome. Thanks, Rowena. Awesome. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Oh no, we got Harry. Thanks very much, guys. I'll say goodbye. I'll answer Harry's question and other questions, but there's no other additional value being added other than just answering some questions. So thanks so much. Harry, if the subscription is finished and restart a few months later, our data stays, or do we need to redo it again? So basically, if your subscription ends, Harry, in Connect, we have an automated system that within 14 days, we don't keep any data that's owned by the agent. So if an agent uploads their database into Connect and then they decide that they don't want to work with us anymore, we don't keep their data. And so we've got a system where within 14 days, the data is completely wiped from Connect, because we don't want to be owning that data. The data is the agent's data. And so if you want to start and stop and start and stop, probably not the best idea, because your data is going to get wiped every single time. So if you want to commit, the subscription for Connect is like $33 a month. It's like $1 a day. So if you didn't have a listing, you might as well just pay for Connect and pay $33 a month. And when you have a listing, you're kind of getting the credit. So that's probably my suggestion. If you think you're going to use it for a year, but you're only going to have 5 listings over that period of a year, maybe you just pay for it so your data doesn't keep getting deleted. But hopefully that makes sense. We don't want to be a company that holds data for clients that aren't our clients, so we wipe it from our systems. And that's what agents appreciate. They appreciate that we're not holding on to any data that doesn't belong to us unless they use it. Sharon, how many agents do you have subscribed to Connect in Tauranga? Can people opt out of text if they don't want to hear from you? That's a really good question. We do have actually some very active, we've got about 4 active clients in Tauranga. Brent Baston, Nicholas Maloney, Gerandy Stegeman from Professionals. There are some active agents in Tauranga who use it regularly. They've been using it for a couple of years now, some of them. They see a lot of value in it. So there are. One thing is, if there's the same person, if let's say I'm on your database, Sharon, and also Nicholas Maloney's, who's a competing agent's database, and you text me, Nicholas cannot text me about the same sale. So if you text me about the sale on 15 Smith Street, you got in first. Means that Nicholas can't send the exact same text to me about that sale. So what that means is that it's a first in, first served basis, because we want to make sure that homeowners don't get bombarded with text messages about exactly the same information. So we want to protect the agents by creating a first in, first served basis. So that's something that we've built in. Because it's a one-to-one text, you don't have an opt-out. But if they say, please, can you take me off your list? You can go into Connect. I'll show you now. You can go into Connect and you can mark them as, go down to here, status, mark them as inactive, hit save, and that's how you can kind of remove them from your list. Or you can delete them completely. It's up to you. Mate, I don't know Harry, I don't know off the top of my head how many Arizto Auckland agents are using it. So it's a tough one. We've got 350 users across New Zealand. I can't think of anyone on the top of my head in Auckland who from Arizto. Sorry about that. We've got some down in like Hamilton, Tauranga, Darren is someone down in Hamilton that's using it. But give me a call. Evan, if you run the bronze ads, is the Connect subscription cost built in? Yes, correct. Connect subscription is built into every listing campaign you do. So the Connect intro plan is included for free for 30 days with every listing you do. Whether it's a bronze, a silver, a gold, whatever package, it's always included in it. So that's how it works. Yeah, if there's any more questions, feel free to drop them down. We covered a lot today. I didn't actually expect to go into Connect so in depth, but it seems that a lot of people are interested in it as well. Really simple to use. And yeah, I think we've got about 40 Arizto agents across New Zealand using Connect right now. Not everyone is using it to their full capability because they haven't made time to use it. If you're still on the call and you're one of those people, make sure to schedule 20 minutes once a week to jump into Connect and actually prospect and keep in touch with people. Because like I said, we're in the business of relationships, and relationships are built on good conversations. And Connect will give you those conversations to keep in touch with those people. Looks like they've got no more questions. I'll give you 20 seconds, otherwise I will disappear and send an email out to all of you guys. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Evan. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. I'll flick you an email in the next 20 minutes once this recording has been completed. Have a great day. And yeah, look forward to maybe working with some of you guys in the future and helping you grow your database, get more buyers through on your listings, and ultimately grow your business. So have a great day, everyone. Cheers.